I picked up 4 books at the library yesterday. I haven't really been in the biggest reading mood because I didn't have any physical books with me. I only had a couple books on my Kindle, and every time I opened my Kindle, I really did not want to read. Like, something about just reading on the screen just doesn't work. Sometimes I'm really against reading on my Kindle because, I don't know, it feels like even though it's not really a screen, it does still feel like a screen, and something about holding an actual physical book is a much more enjoyable reading experience. So I knew that I would probably read if I did get a physical book, because I have been reading like a couple books. I haven't been posting reading vlogs or doing a reading wrap-up in a while, but my latest books were tomorrow and tomorrow. Or was it tomorrow and tomorrow? I feel like it's tomorrow and tomorrow. But the really popular book. So I read that and it was okay. And then I also read Such a Fun Age. And those were books I just picked up at the library. Because actually when you just go browse at the library, they actually have quite a few books that I know of and that I'm interested in reading just there. So it also helps that I don't have to put anything in reservation and I have to wait for it. And I can just go pick it up right away, which is why I think I just got 4 books right away, because I'm like, all of these sounded interesting to me. I'm kind of hiding them because I'm going to show them in a second. So I was feeling like I wanted to read, or like I wanted to have a book, but I was not in the mood to read. Also, the books on my Kindle are not really, they're more like essays. I kind of have more like nonfiction, or not more. I just only have nonfiction right now on my Kindle. So I was not really in the mood for that. Those are kind of books that I just read slowly, but I wanted a fiction book to just have and read. So yesterday I went to the library and I just picked these up. These, actually like 3 of these were like back to back, and I was like, oh my god, I'm getting those because I've heard of these 3, but then this one was a mystery to me. Let's start with the mystery one maybe. So I picked up Your Love Is Not Good. Honestly, because of the cover, it intrigued me. It has a cute little doggy on it. And then I did read the synopsis. Is it called synopsis? I did read the summary, and I'll read it to you guys. Falling in lust with a gorgeous white model could be a great career move for a Korean-American painter, unless it's the surest route to self-destruction. Your Love Is Not Good is a queer, dark-hearted satire of the glamour and ugliness of the art world, wrapped in a novel of uncommon punk elegance. Like, that sounds super interesting. It just sounds really interesting. I've never heard of it before, so I feel like it could be something I would enjoy. So I don't know when I'll get to it. And then I'll show you guys the book that I started. This is the first one I picked up, Salt Slow by Julia Armfield. Oh yeah, well, who is this from? This was from Johanna Hedva, or Joanna Hedva, I don't know. But yeah, so this one is the one that I saw first and I picked up first. Also because of the cover. I feel like all of these are kind of because of the cover. The last 2 is books that I've known of before, but I don't know if I've seen this anywhere else. I feel like I only picked this up because of the cover as well. And then I read a little bit of what it's about, and this is a short story collection, and it got shortlisted for the Sunday Times Young Writer of the Year award. So I think that this was maybe a debut. I'm not sure. If not a debut, then something like that. And also, I was just intrigued by this because usually, or in the past, I actually have not really loved short stories. I usually kind of have not hated, but not enjoyed short stories. But now that I kind of didn't even know what I wanted to read, plus I wasn't really in the biggest reading mood, I was like, okay, maybe short stories are actually perfect for this, because I can just read a story when I feel like it, and I don't have to really commit to a big novel. So I was like, okay, and I feel like when I was reading, these are kind of like grotesque or maybe a little bit horror-y short stories, like gothic themes. So I feel like it's gonna be interesting. Okay, I did read one story already. I read the first story, which was Mantis, I think it was called. It was already pretty good. I enjoyed it. So I feel like short stories Like, I'm giving short stories another chance, and I think that I would like it this time because I feel like the last times I read a short story, I just kind of read it without really preparing myself that like these are short stories. It's not gonna like make you attached to the characters or anything. You're not gonna be like, it's not a novel. You can't treat it like a novel. So I feel like I'm going into it like they're short stories, and I feel like this is actually perfect for what I kind of need right now. So that's why I started this one first, because I was intrigued by this one the most out of all of them. And yeah, so I only just started it. I don't have much else to say about it, but I am enjoying it. And then the other two books I picked up was this one, What You're Looking For Is in the Library. This has been in my TBR for quite a long time. This was actually in my last year's TBR, so I wanted to read this last year. So when I saw this, I'm like, perfect, I'm gonna get this because this is super, super cute. It's like a Japanese novel. It just seems like a sweet book. Also, I think the title is cute. What You're Looking For Is in the Library. That was me yesterday. I was looking for something in the library, so this was calling to me. Yeah, I actually don't know anything about this. I didn't even really read the summary because I've just known of this. I feel like I've seen it online. People are saying it's really good. It just seems nice. And this, it kind of looks like spring-like. Also, can you guys tell it's spring? The sun is out. It's like 10 a.m. The sun, like when it's summer and spring, the sun comes straight from my window in the mornings, so I love it. But anyway, this is just sweet. I don't have any other thoughts on it, but this is one of the books I'll be reading. And then the last one I picked up was Black Swans by Eve Babbitt. I have been wanting to read something by Eve Babbitt for a while now. I don't remember what other book it was that I wanted to read from her, but I know Eve Babbitt is very popular. Oh yeah, Slow Days and Fast Company is the one I wanted to read by her. Anyway, Black Swans is also a short story collection. Stories, so I have two short stories. Who am I? But anyway, this also looked, I like the cover, I like the colors in it. Pink and green is like the theme of my house, to be honest. Oh yeah, and this was really cool. I'll read the synopsis for this one. A new reissue of Babbitt's collection of 9 stories that look back on the 80s and early 90s, decades of dreams, drink, and glimpses of a changing world. Black Swans further celebrates the phenomenon of Eve Babbitt, cementing her reputation as the voice of a generation. Like, okay, I feel like it is very, like, yeah, I feel like, I mean, I've wanted to read an Eve Babbitt's book for a long time now. This was available, so I'll start with this. And yeah, I'm really intrigued by Eve Babbitt in general, since, you know, she is a very known and liked author person. I actually don't know much about her, but, you know. So yeah, those are the books I got. I feel like all of them are really good. Like, it's actually, my new favorite thing is just going to the library and just choosing while you're there what calls to you and what's available, because when I'm like looking at storygraph or I'm just looking at what to read, I feel like there's too much choice and I get choice paralysis because I don't know what to read next. But when you genuinely go there and you're physically there and these books are physically available, it's like, okay, of course these are going to be my next reads because they're right there. And I don't know, it makes it more exciting when I have the books physically. It makes me want to read them actually. So suddenly I actually kind of have a really big reading mood and I cannot wait to get into all of these. It is, what day is it? It is the 9th of April. We'll see how long it takes me to get through all of these. I mean, the rental time is 30 days, so I hope I can get all of these read in a month. But also, I kind of just want to go to more libraries and just get more books, but I have to take it slow as well because these are like my main focus. Like, I'm actually really happy about these books and really excited to get into all of these. And to be honest, I have like a short story collection that I'm starting, so I might also start one of these novels on the side. I'm not sure which one yet. I feel like I would start with What You're Looking For Is in the Library just because this has been in my TBR for so long. So maybe these will be the 2 books that I'm starting with. Or this is already, but maybe this one will be the 2nd book that I'll start. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a nice day. I want to read. I also have more time to read now because I don't have that much school stuff. And I don't know, spring is a really nice time to read because you can also go outside to read. Yeah, okay, suddenly like my reading mood is back. Actually, this is like the biggest tip is just to go to the library and get physical books right away because I don't know, something about having the physical book does make me want to read more. as much as I love my Kindle, it's just not the vibe. It's just not the vibe. As much as books are, like actual physical books. Today's reading spot is near, wait, you can't even see, Tuomiokirkko. It's a huge church. So this is in the center of Helsinki. I feel like it's the main cathedral. So this is where we're chilling and reading. Yeah, Helsinki life. And it's so warm, like it's really warm there. So I'm gonna do an update on what I'm reading. So I started What You're Looking For is in the library yesterday. I think I just started randomly in the tram, but I've already read 45 pages, and I realized that this is also kind of a short story collection-ish, kind of like the Salt and Slow that I'm living, or Salt Slow that I'm reading, because it basically introduces a new character in every chapter. This is the one that I read. It's the first one. And when I realized that it's probably short stories, because when we got to chapter 2, they introduced a new character. So I think that it's just gonna focus on this character. But basically, what I think is the point of this book is we're gonna go through different characters. They're all gonna have an encounter with the library, and then they're gonna find a book there, and it will somehow not change their life, but it will make them think about something, or maybe change their life a little bit, because basically in the first story she ends up in the library, and then it kind of changes her view on things, and what she was looking for was in the library, like the title says. So I think it'll be something like that. I don't know yet, but that's my hypothesis. But I really like it already. I just like the writing style. It's very, if you've read any Japanese literature, it kind of has the same format and same writing style. So very simple, kind of minimalistic, but I like it. I really like it. I've read like a couple. Who was the author I've read a few books from? Okay, I don't remember the author's name, but she's written Breasts and Eggs and a few other ones, All the Lovers in the Night or something, but I've read a couple from her, and it kind of has the same writing style. Just very simple, like I said, but also very like mundane and everyday living type of thing. Like usually the characters are just normal people, so I really enjoy reading it. It's like very simple and easy to read in a way. Like I don't have to really use that much of my brain, but it's also like not in a bad way. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Right now it's cute and sweet and interesting, and Salt Slow is still the same as before. Wait, actually I don't know if I did an update. Salt Slow, I think I've read 3 stories now. I'm on page 60-ish. So I don't think there's that many stories left, but it's been pretty nice. I've also kind of liked it. So I actually do like short stories now. I feel like the short stories chose me this time, because this was accidentally a short story, kind of. We're chilling. There's a lot of seagulls, but it's really, really warm in this spot because the wind doesn't like come here. It's like secluded. Yeah, lovely. So I'm gonna read probably this one right now. I finished both of the books that I was reading, so I'm gonna do a little review and recap, because I did do the one update when I was kind of at the beginning of both of these, but then I just decided, since they're pretty short, both of them, that I would just do my final thoughts and final reviews pretty much. So I finished Salt Slow first. I liked it. It was like a cute, okay, I shouldn't say cute, but it was a nice short story collection. I didn't hate it because I feel like I actually have kind of detested or not enjoyed, I don't know if detest is a word in English, but I haven't really liked short story collections when I read them in the past. And now, I wasn't obsessed with it or anything, but I enjoyed it. It was like a good read to have on the tram when I was going from place to place. Just interesting. It had pretty good writing, but overall the stories themselves, for me, there was nothing that really stuck with me or that I will think about personally. Like, I don't think I would ever go back to this short story collection. It was more just a book I read and I enjoyed when I read it, but nothing else really, which is fine. But I did look at Julia Armfield, who is the author, and one of her books, if I remember correctly, is called Our Wives Under the Sea, and that's a novel, and that has been in my TBR. Actually, before even this one was. This was never in my TBR, I just saw this at the library. But I do want to read that one. But interesting that I read this one from her. I didn't know that I kind of knew this author beforehand, even though this is my first thing that I'm reading from her. If I had to give like a star rating, I would probably give it like a 3 to 3.5. Like, it's good. But again, for me, nothing that remarkable. But overall, the stories, what they were like, they were pretty weird stories, a lot to do with bodies, relationships, weird encounters, kind of mystical things as well. Like, not always based in reality. Like, there was some weird stuff going on sometimes. And if I remember correctly, if anyone's interested in ever reading this, there was 9 short stories, and my favorite ones were The Great Awake was pretty interesting. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really remember the other ones. Well, I do, but yeah, I think The Great Awake was my favorite, but like overall, I pretty much liked every single story. Sometimes I feel like maybe there was a deeper meaning to some of the stories, or maybe a metaphor, but I don't know if I caught all of that, which, to be honest, I'm not really gonna go any deeper into it. But yeah, that was Salt Slow. If it sounds interesting to you, I recommend it. I don't think it's a bad read at all. But what you're looking for is in the library. I have different thoughts on this now because I remember saying something like that I just was enjoying it quite a lot in the start. But as I read more of it, this does have a red string going through all of the stories. So it's not like a short story collection. It's just kind of the same story happens with each of the characters. I don't remember. I think there's like 5 different characters like I showed in my previous update. It just goes like, it focuses on one person at a time. There's basically this plot that happens. I don't know if this is a spoiler. If you think this is a spoiler and you're really interested in reading this book, then maybe skip to this point, but I'm just gonna tell what kind of happens, but I'm not gonna spoil like what happens. But basically the idea of this book is, it's very like work-life centered. So usually the person is either in like a job that they don't like, or they're unemployed, or they were retired. So something like that, but always like work-life based. And it was kind of low-key a motivational thing to like finding your purpose in life and going after what you like to do. And I feel like it's cute. I mean, it's a nice story, but okay, actually I'm jumping over. So it starts with like the problem, which is usually something surrounding work, or surrounding that the person doesn't really know what they're doing with their life, or they have a dream but they haven't chased it. And then they all stumble upon this community house for different reasons, but they all end up at the library that is in the community house. And then they all meet the librarian, and the librarian is a woman who then kind of reads them in a way. She always asks, this is like the thing that she always asks is, what are you looking for? And then it always goes to like the character being like, what am I looking for? I wish I could tell her. Basically, they want to tell her everything that they're looking for that isn't a book. Like, I'm looking for my purpose in life, for example, but then they just say like the book that they're looking for. But then she writes like a recommendations list, and there's always like the books that they were looking for, and then there's like one random book that's the last book, and they're all of the characters are like, why would she recommend this book to me? I didn't ask for this. It could be like a picture book, like a children's book. So basically something completely random, but basically the librarian can like read people really well, and she gives these suggestions that hit home. Oh yeah, and there's this thing that the librarian is really into felting, and she always gives them a little felt like object thing that also sparks inspiration in them. So basically every single person's storyline followed that same structure. Because at first, like when I read the first two, I was kind of like, okay, I see. And then when it got to the third one and it happened again, I was like, okay, so this is gonna happen in every single one of them. Which, to be honest, it got a little bit repetitive. There was like some sweet moments, and I can see why like people enjoy this. It is like a book about hope and going after your dreams, kind of, and just living life to the fullest also in like every single stage of life. And I know that like Japan is very, like the work culture there is pretty demanding. So I feel like the reason it was so work centered is also because of the Japanese culture. But for me personally, this didn't really give me much. It was like cute to me, and there was some cute lines and stuff, but to be honest, it wasn't that crazy. It doesn't really resonate that much with me personally, but I still enjoyed the read in an okay way. But I wouldn't really suggest this unless those themes sound interesting to you. And also it did, I think I said it already, but it did get a little bit repetitive because all of the people followed the exact same storyline, so I kind of knew what was gonna happen. I was like, okay, so they're gonna go to the library and the librarian's gonna recommend some really random book, and then they're gonna find their life's purpose from that, and then they're gonna have a happy ending and stuff. So it's like sweet. It's a sweet story. I'm sure it is motivating to some people and eye-opening to some people, and it is very popular. But yeah, for me it was just kind of just that, like sweet, but for me not that meaningful. I mean, it wasn't my favorite. I won't think about this at all, I don't think. But it was good to read. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. This is like super, super, super popular. I feel like it like in Japan, like maybe with like people, like in the workforce, if someone has always had a life like that just like go to work, they don't actually do what they want to do in life, I feel like this could be a really eye-opening book as well, and a book that brings hope to people. So that's nice. There's books for every kind of person, but this book just wasn't geared towards me, and that's completely fine. Okay, those are the reviews. But I have also started these two books, both of them. I haven't really done any reviews, I haven't really done any updates, so I just decided to do this big whole update since, yeah. But I started both of these. On Your Love Is Not Good, I'm on page 63 already. And Black Swans, I'm on page 26. So I've only read the introduction of Black Swans and then one short story. And it was really interesting to read the introduction because I've always heard of Eve Babbitts, but I haven't actually really read much about her and stuff. So the introduction that was by Stephanie Danler, it was pretty good. It did a little bit of a overview of who Eve Babbitts is. And if you don't know who she is, I don't know if I'm the best to say this because this is just all I kind of got from a couple of pages, but she was I don't know what she was even famous for. Was she famous for her writing? I guess she was, but she lived in Los Angeles. She was like a party girl, kind of, doing a lot of partying, drugs, things like that. Not having to really think about other things besides love, partying, drugs, maybe like identity or something. But yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't think I'm a really good person to say that. I should probably Google more. But that's like kind of the vibe I got from the introduction as well. And also what I got was that this is her last work, if I'm correct. Or she wrote this when she was like in her 40s. So it's like a little bit more different than her books or her writings from like when she was in her 20s and stuff. So I'm really curious to read this first, and then because I do want to read her other works as well to see how it differs from, for example, Eve's Hollywood or Slow Days and Fast Company, which I think were written when she was a bit younger. To be honest, I don't have like that many other thoughts right now. I'm literally only on page 26, but a lot about also like LA culture and like American culture in that way, which I'm not that familiar with. I mean, don't have really experience with Los Angeles culture, so she's very LA and like stuff like that. So it's interesting. It's really interesting to read. So I don't know much yet, but they are short stories. And for now, I really like it, or I'm really intrigued by it. And Your Love Is Not Good has started in a pretty like interesting way. It's like immediately it is pretty like pretentious in a way. All of the chapters are named after some sort of art thingy, like pentimento, the revealing of a painting beneath another painted over it at a later time, or pieta, a representation of the Holy Mother with the dead Christ across her knees. I don't know, but like every single chapter starts off with some sort of art word, and then there's the description, and it's already kind of this like pretentious, quirky, different literature that I feel like has been really popping in the 2020s era, like this type of literature. Do you know, like kind of like Milk Fed and all these other like weird girl books, if that's a genre that I can say, but it's already kind of giving that. Basically, it follows this girl. I don't even know what the girl's name is. I don't know if she said her name, like the main character's name, or if I've completely missed it, but she is a half Korean, half white girl who's kind of recounting her past, I feel like. It's kind of jumping around from her childhood to when she was in art school, and then she's kind of narrating it as if she was older now. So I'm not really sure like what the present time is and how old she is now, but the main character is basically kind of narrating her life basically and her encounters. There's a lot, like as of right now, there's been a lot of things about her mom and this encounter she had with a friend of hers or a woman. Oh yeah, I think it is like the main character is also lesbian, so I feel like there's going to be quite a few like romantic encounters with women. There was like a really odd thing, like there's just like weird things happening as well, like just what I would kind of expect from a book in this genre. It's very like this type of book. I don't know how to explain it, but these books that have been coming out that are kind of like, they have like covers like these, like I'm gonna put like a bunch of books that kind of give me this energy of this genre, but there's like always a woman is the main character. She's like a little bit weird. She's had like a weird history. She's like really quirky, or she does like weird things, and she has really niche interests, and she's just like a niche quirky girl or woman, and really weird things happen to her and stuff like that, which is always an interesting read. I mean, I kind of love those books because it's like I don't do anything like that or it's like I don't even know. I mean, there's so many people in this world, so I'm sure like it can be relatable to some, but for me it's always like, oh, like this is interesting. It's more like, yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's not like anything fantasy or magical realism. It's like portraying a real person, but there's like all these kind of really interesting and weird things that keep happening to them, and like really, really weird relationship encounters or encounters with people, or like social encounters. So yeah, they're just very interesting to read as a book. So I do enjoy books like that. So this is the energy that it's giving. I hope you guys can kind of grasp what I'm getting at, but that's the vibe that I'm getting from it right now. And yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. 60 pages, and the author was Joanna Hedva. I haven't heard of her before. I feel like I kind of prefaced this already when I was introducing these, that I just picked these up at the library, but that is her. Her author picture is the full back cover, which is a slay. But yeah, I feel like I've talked so long about these, but I don't know, I'll come back with updates on these two books, or I'll come back with a final review. We are 2 books down out of 4, and I feel like it's been like 2 weeks maybe like a week and a half. So I hope to finish at least one of these this week. Hello, this may be a really random angle, but I thought this is cute. I'm like under a tree, and I think it's a cute vibe, even though it's kind of shady, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you hear my voice, right? I don't know, this is giving spring vibes, but basically, I've finished both of these books, I think last month already, or maybe actually I finished this one this month, but like early. Actually, no, it's June, guys, already. It's June. It's been a really long time that I've been reading these, but I finished this one like the start of May, and this one, like Black Swans, I think I finished a while ago. But here I am with my final reviews of both of these books. To be honest, it's been a little while since I read these, and both of them weren't like amazing in my opinion, so I feel like I don't even really remember my thoughts, but I'll try my best to say the main things. Black Swans, it was okay. It's a collection of short stories, and to be honest, I feel like I like short stories if it's more of like a story format. Salt Slow I liked more than this just because all of the stories were so unique and kind of weird, and they read kind of like stories. This one reads as like, it's like very character driven. I don't know if I like character driven short stories because I feel like I can't get into it as much. Basically for short stories, it's more important for me that like the story itself is interesting and good because it's a short story, so I won't have time to get to know the characters a lot or get invested or care about who they are or know even who they are. So this one, it was very character focused short stories, so I could never really grasp like who was the narrator, like who is this person, like what are they doing. I couldn't really get into what they were talking about or really understand because there's no setup, of course, because they are short stories. So I feel like that was my biggest problem with this book personally, like why I couldn't get into it or why I didn't really like it. I don't know what I would rate it. I can see maybe why. Oh yeah, and also why I think I didn't get into it that much is because it's like very Hollywood, Los Angeles setting focused, and I feel like there's a lot of names mentioned and places that I don't know of because I've never been to America and I don't really care to be honest about like Los Angeles and things like that. So I feel like that also made me kind of disconnected from the story or the stories in general, just because the setting and the things, I just don't think I really understood them, or they just weren't things that I really know of that much, which is why I felt like I was kind of just watching from above without being able to really like get into it or like get any insights from it. The only thing that was really funny to me was I love mangoes. Like mangoes are my favorite fruit, and there was like a little passage in, I don't even remember which short story, but something the character was talking about how mangoes are like divine intervention, they're like the best. So that was the only place where I was relating our love for mangoes. So yeah, that's my review for Black Swans. So not for me. I don't know though, I kind of am still curious about Eve Babbitt's, especially her most popular books like the Slow Days, Fast Company. So I don't know, maybe it's something I might read someday, but yeah, I'm not like, I feel like I could give one Eve Babbitt's book still a try, but I don't know, I feel like maybe it's like totally not my niche, really LA, really Hollywood, like I don't know if that's things I really care about that much, or like know the history behind, or I'm even like curious to know the history behind. So I don't know, I'm still open to it, but for now those are my thoughts on Black Swans and Eve Babbitt's. And to be honest, I didn't like care for the writing that much, like I didn't think it was like anything crazy. Sorry y'all. Then Your Love Is Not Good. I don't remember how much I told you guys about these books, but this one was, oh my god, I totally forgot.
This one was okay. Also, it's like very windy. I don't know if you guys can hear me that well, but I feel like I mentioned that it was kind of giving pretentious, and yeah, this explored a lot, like race and identity and sexuality and relationship with your mother and stuff. Like a lot of those themes, and like the art world or something, which is also something I don't really know much about. So I feel like there was a lot of things that kind of went over my head maybe. Yeah, I feel like I just didn't really connect with this. I honestly, it's crazy. I literally don't even remember what happened. Yeah, I don't really remember. Like, I read this like 3 weeks ago, but I don't remember. I don't even remember. I feel like that tells you enough that I don't remember what happened. I mean, it wasn't like a plot. It's also a character-driven story, but yeah. Actually, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. This left me speechless with no thoughts. I feel like I had thoughts on this, but I've blacked out. I've blacked out. If I remember while I'm editing, then I'll put my thoughts, but to be honest, it was like unremarkable. It was unremarkable if I don't remember anything. So, oh my god. There's so many like little shits in my hair. But anyway, that's the reading vlog. It took me like a month and a half to read all the 4 books. And I'm already moving on to other books. I already read another book, but those are not part of this vlog, so I can't tell you guys. This is what's in my hair, little thingies. I'll show you guys a little bit the vibe of where I am. Overall, what was even my favorite book? Honestly, all of the books in this reading vlog were mid. They were mid. But I don't really mind. I just like having a book to read, and they kind of serve as entertainment purposes. Of course, it's really nice if I can find a book that I like, but I haven't found a book that I like really love in a long time. So that's just the reality. But I still like it. I still love reading. It doesn't really matter what book it is. Okay, I'll show you guys what's happening. So this is my tripod situation, and I was sitting on top of this rock. And it's such a beautiful day. It is June right now. This was my spring reading. Yes. And I hope you had an amazing spring. It is summer already. Time flies so fast. Bye.